Welcome back. Some of you are familiar with the short booklet I did a few years ago on how to grow tobacco. A lot of that was based on research that I had done myself, how I had cured my own tobacco, and kind of an American perspective on tobacco curing. So I cover a lot of different methods, but some of it, I didn't get to see in person. And I think the major area that book could have benefited from was a look deeper into sun-drying tobacco. So it's been something that I've tried to look up, tried to find information on the best ways to sun-dry tobacco, a really simple method to sun-dry tobacco, so it still has a nice flavor. Well, recently I had the chance to visit multiple islands in Indonesia, including the island of Java. And there, when I was visiting a site to do a agricultural consulting, I came across this guy and I saw him spreading all these leaves out on trays, bamboo trays. And I looked and I thought, wait a minute, could that be tobacco? Could this be what I've been looking for all these years? Well, sure enough it was. So I went over, I introduced myself with the help of a translator and I asked him, would you explain to me how you're doing this? Do you mind if I film you and would you explain it? So let's jump in and I will show you what I saw. So right here, this gentleman is drying tobacco. And so you see all the tobacco is being sun cured. So it's been shredded and then he takes it and flips it over and moves it from mat to mat. So the sun is coming down and getting all of it as he goes. So you can see. I've never tried the sun curing tobacco, so I'm gonna have to remember this. Can you ask him how long it takes for the tobacco to be ready to smoke?
Itu berapa lama harus keringkat itu Pak? Bikin kering? 2 days.
2 days. 2 days, and then you can smoke it.
Dan baru bisa merokok gitu. Yeah. You can
So,
smoke it after 2 days.
how many times does he have to flip the
Berapa
tobacco?
kali harus balik itu?
4 kali.
4 times.
4 times every day?
Setiap hari?
Setiap hari
Atau
4
berapa?
kali.
Setiap hari 2.
2 kali.
Sorry. Maaf, berapa?
2 kali.
2
2
kali.
kali sehari.
2 times a day.
2 times a day for 4 days?
Dua kali harus balik itu untuk 2 hari?
2
Iya. 4 hari.
4 hari
4
2.
days.
Ya.
4 days.
2 times a day.
Tell him that I tried some tobacco here and it had a nice flavor, and I asked how it was done, but I couldn't find a farmer that could tell me.
Ya, ini pertama kali dia dapat petani yang dia bisa lihat proses seperti ini.
Yeah.
Ini pertama kali dia lihat
Ya,
proses
lihat,
seperti
Oh,
ini di
pertama
sini.
kali ya.
Iya.
Ya udah keren loh, bisa masuk di dalam.
Oh, he has
Oh,
some
yang udah
already
kering.
that's dry in there.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Ada yang kering.
Ada
Yeah.
yang kering.
Yeah, he has some that's
Already finished. Now I was already impressed with this guy's systems, but then he actually invited us inside of his house where he was storing tobacco, and then we got to see how much he'd already done.
Yang udah kering.
Wow!
Yang
Look at all this. Yeah. It's 4 days, 2 times a day. Can you?
Belum dari luar ditumpuk dulu sini, langsung udah kering sih, masukin.
Nah, iya.
Wow.
Yang udah kering.
And it smells very sweet.
Yeah.
It smells good, like a gula, like yeah, sweet. So does he take this and then sell it to a cigarette factory?
Bagaimana Pak menjual itu nanti atau apa?
Di PT-nya.
Oh, mereka antar ke PT.
Oh, they take it to a factory, ya.
Take it to a factory and sell it, and then would they mix it with cloves?
Ya,
Mereka campur itu dengan apa?
Enggak,
Untuk buat-
khusus ini.
Oh, it's just
Enggak ada
Just
tambahannya.
special. No, don't add it to
Just
anything.
straight tobacco.
Yeah.
taruh prosesnya di gudang.
Di gudang.
Ini yang beli lu PT Sampurna, Sampurna.
Oh, it's like perfect tobacco, something like
Perfect
that.
tobacco, yeah.
It must be like quality tobacco.
High quality.
Yeah.
It smells very, very
Look at
nice.
his TV stand. How pretty is that?
Smells very nice. Terima kasih. Terima kasih. So I thanked the gentleman, and at this point I thought, okay, I'm not going to take up any more of his day. You know, he showed us how he was drawing it, and we had just kind of sprung it on him. I just shown up in his yard and said, hey, could you show me how you do this? And so I thought we were going to go home. So I was like, you know, terima kasih, thank you. And then it even got cooler.
He has a machine.
Has a machine to shred it?
Oh,
Oh, this machine right here.
Ini mesinnya.
Oh, a big machine.
Dimasuk nih.
Okay, so it feeds. Yeah.
Biar tahu. Mesin.
Jeez.
Praktek dan bisa. Mesinnya.
Wow. So does he feed the tobacco in when it is still wet?
Maaf, bisa menjelaskan mesin ini bagaimana pakai itu? Maaf,
Oh, iya.
Cara kerjanya loh.
Cara kerjanya.
Harus
Iya,
kasih
cara
hidup itu.
kerjanya.
Menjelaskan bagaimana memakai. Jadi harus kasih hidup itu, Pak.
So at this point, the farmer walks away, and then he comes back a moment later with a handful of leaves off of a teak tree that he just pulled. And teak in Bahasa Indonesia is jati. So he comes back with these jati leaves to show us how the shredder works.
Adiknya di tembakonya.
Ya, tembakonya.
This is jati?
Iya, ini
Yeah.
adiknya tembakonya gitu.
Yeah. For a demonstration.
Ini dihidupin.
Yeah.
Terus ini langsung dimasukin ini.
Coming out here. Wow, dapat mesin ini di mana?
Oh, ini beli.
Dari perusahaan.
Perusahaan.
Kredit cara utang.
Jadi harus beli.
Ntar
Iya.
kalau udah ini panen bayarnya ini.
Oh, after his harvest, he was able to buy this.
Yeah, I was gonna say he must be a very successful farmer to have a machine like this.
Mahal untuk beli mesin ini.
5,5 juta.
About 5.5 million to buy a machine like this. Tapi ini apa kalau beli ini bisa bantu Pak banyak ya.
Bapak.
It really helps him to have a machine like this.
Before he had a machine like this, what did he do?
Sebelum ada mesin seperti ini Pak lakukan apa?
Ya, kan dirajang
Dirajang
manual.
tuh.
Jadi,
He had to do it all manually.
Ya.
kan ini lubangan gitu langsung di
Oh, he used a knife like that and cut it all.
I just
sebelum ada mesinnya.
yeah, seriously hard work.
Jadi pakai cuman tuh
Oh, iya.
Wow, ya susah.
sekarang udah
Ada
Wow.
mesin.
So God has blessed him.
Ya, dapat berkat besar dengan mesin ini ya Pak.
ya.
Bagus. Luar. Menarik ya. Menarik juga.
Now, for a little bit of context, the reason that I said he was a successful farmer, or must be a successful farmer, is to have a machine like this compared to a lot of what we saw. This is a big deal. You know, many of the farms that we passed and people we talked to were at a subsistence farming level, where everything was hand tools, everything was made by hand. We saw carpentry work that was done with basically the wood was milled with chainsaws when they had chainsaws. When they didn't have chainsaws, they were using crosscut saws. And a lot of the work was all being done with hand tools. So you get these crazy rough pieces of furniture that people have hewn themselves out of teak. And then you look and you see, okay, this guy has got a nice big building and he's obviously producing a lot, and he's got a machine that can do this chopping for him. This is a big deal. So after we got to talk to him, and I kind of got the idea. I was thinking, man, I'm so lucky to have had this chance to talk to this successful guy and see how he's doing it. The one thing I really, really regret, though, is I never got the farmer's name. You know, we showed up in his yard and we talked, we joked around back and forth, and I admired what he was doing, and I never got his name, so I am so sorry. I got to ask him if I could film a video, and I didn't get his name. But, you know, if you're out there and you're watching, thank you very much. Terima kasih, much appreciated. It was very cool to see this system. And now, earlier in the video, I mentioned, you know, we were going back and forth on how many days. I think it was 2 days till it's smokable, like dry enough to smoke. But a proper curing was 4 days turned 2 times a day. So obviously, if you have, you know, rain and that sort of thing, you'd really have to get that stuff out of the rain quickly. I also found it interesting that it's pre-shredded. It's shredded and laid out on these trays. Before I finish, let's take a closer look at the trays that he's using. So this is the bamboo mats that are used for drying, and you can see it's all interwoven, and the tobacco can just sit on top of it and dry. And of course, this is better than, you know, your galvanized screening or plastic or anything like that, because this doesn't add any chemicals at all. So you get a nice, good healthy tobacco crop. All natural, healthy, good for you tobacco, right? Well, as healthy as it can be. Anyhow, if you haven't seen my little booklet on growing tobacco, I've grown quite a bit of tobacco over the years on a home backyard scale. I will put a link in the description for you to check it out. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. We are headed for 100,000 subscribers, and I'd love it if you would join us. It's much appreciated. And, you know, I love these low-tech, simple systems to get things done. You know, you don't have to set up a big cooler and run a heater in it, or, you know, string things up for a year. And I tried the tobacco while I was there. It was sweet, quite smokable, tasted good, and nothing wrong with it. So both for chewing tobacco and for smoking tobacco, this air drying method worked very well. I wish I could tell you what variety of tobacco it is, but my guess is it's probably just a regular old you know, cigarette style, maybe a burley or something like that. But very cool. You know, 4 days, I like that. So when I get some tobacco going on my land again now, because we're kind of in transition, I don't have any growing at the moment. When I get it going again, I am definitely going to do this. And I'm probably going to make my own bamboo mats. So subscribe, and when I do it, I will film it and share it with you. And, you know, thanks a lot to the farmer who shared his time and his expertise with us. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green.